Thank you very much for that very kind introduction, and very good morning to everybody. It's wonderful to see you. It's wonderful to be here finally after a lot of work that has gone not just into this event, but the many things that are announced today, including our change of name and a few other things that I'll mention in a minute. I wanted to thank our two MCs. So thank you, Raquel and Sam, for volunteering for this. They're two brilliant undergraduate students of ours. So if you could give them a round of applause, because I don't know. Thank you. Thank you. Now, dear Vice President of the European Commission, dear Josep, dear former President of the UN General Assembly, former Minister of Foreign Affairs of Argentina, querida Susana, Nobel Peace Prize laureate Jody Williams, Professor Williams, Chair of the Global Governance Forum, querido Augusto, ambassadors, representatives of the European Commission and of the Spanish governments, queridos Nacho and Karma, corporate and academic partners, faculty members, students, and a very, very special welcome and thank you to Diego del Alcázar, our CEO, who's seated here. I'm sure he's hating what I'm doing right now, but thank you for being here and for what it means that you're here, and for all of the support that this institution has given all of us and has given this school. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that, so thank you. We just saw a very shocking clip that captured the many, many challenges that we face in the world today, from the fight against climate change and environmental degradation, to war in Europe for the first time since the end of the Second World War, to the rise of authoritarianism around the world and the weakening of liberal democracy, to the fight against COVID and other health crises. Some of these challenges are truly existential. And as the video indicated, many of us, and I count myself in that group, sometimes feel truly overwhelmed at times by the sheer number and the scale of these challenges. Sometimes it is simply just too much. It feels as if our security architecture was crumbling, our planet was dying, and our societies were struggling to remain cohesive. Will outright military aggression become the norm in Europe after what we've witnessed in Ukraine? Are we irrevocably headed towards a sixth mass extinction, the loss of biodiversity and the destruction of habitats around the world? Is this our legacy to the next generation, to our children, to our grandchildren? Is our world going to become more authoritarian, less democratic, as some studies seem to show? Will we fail at the governance of emerging technologies? These are immense questions, very important ones. But I want to begin this event today by pointing out that they remain exclusively that. They are questions, open questions. The answers are still to be provided, and many, many of the answers to these questions will be provided by people like folks like the ones that are sitting here today. So let me try to provide an explanation of why we're here, of what connects us, all of us, in this room. The truth is that all of the people in this room are in one way or another in the business of tackling global problems. At this institution, as the video said, we train the next generation of leaders willing to dedicate their lives to addressing all the challenges that I just enumerated, and many, many, many more. We do so in a way that aims to address three fundamental forces that are shaping global politics. Let me go one by one. The first force is velocity. The world is changing exponentially around us. Sometimes it's hard to fully grasp what this means, but let me give you two examples. In the last 24 months, we generated more data than in the past 20,000 years. I can give you another example, which I'm sure many of you have now tested and experimented with ChatGPT. The implications of applied AI in the way we run our universities, our business, and our lives is going to be immense. These are two examples of exponential change. What does this mean for the academic world? Well, velocity calls for foresight. We need to be much better at looking at the future, trying to draw scenarios and understand what is to come. It also calls for reskilling, retooling, and updating our knowledge, which is something we aim to do here. It also calls for a much better understanding of the impact of technology in society. We have a wonderful center in this institution called the Center for the Governance of Change that works precisely on the governance of emerging technologies. Let me mention a second force. The second force is interdependence. What happens today in the Amazon basin, or what happens in Wuhan, or what happens in Silicon Valley affects almost anybody and everybody on Earth. And at the same time, that interdependence is coming apart as we speak. What does this mean for universities? Well, it means we need to educate individuals with a global mindset. I do not know the number of nationalities represented in this room, but I'm certain it's well above the 100. It doesn't really get more cosmopolitan and global than this. Interdependence also calls for an interdisciplinary approach, a systems thinking. Most of the challenges we face are immensely complex. That's one of the reasons, in fact, where we're announcing today this change of name. And one of the words that you'll see in our name is economics. That wasn't there in the past. And we bring together the disciplines of political science, economics, and international affairs for a reason. And that's because in order to understand the problems and address the challenges we face, you need an interdisciplinary approach in the world today. Today, we also announced, and I'm happy to share this with you, the launch of a new center at this institution, the IE Center for Innovation in Global Politics and Economics, that will produce applied research in these fields. And in fact, it's going to be directed by our colleague, Laura Thompson. I cannot see Laura, is right here. And I'm very happy to announce that. Laura was the deputy director of the International Organization for Migration in Geneva until not too long ago. We're very fortunate to have her lead this project to address these issues. The third and final force trend I wanted to mention is fragility. The world is increasingly volatile, with an international order that is changing and becoming openly more illiberal, not just in its external configuration with the rise of illiberal powers around the world, but also within liberal democracies. So there is a process of weakening of democracies from within. This is the world we inhabit, one of the challenges we need to face. So what can be done from universities about this? And let me mention just one thing. The list could be very long, but I want to mention just the one thing. And that is, we can foster, praise, and celebrate a sense of public service. And by public service, I do not mean working in government or for the public sector. I mean working to address common challenges. This can be done from the corporate world, it can be done from civil society, it can be done from governments, it can be done from NGOs. So much, trust me, so much of a life well lived is about working with and for others. And we can do that, and we can convey that to our students. And let me share another idea, because those of you that are fortunate enough to be in this room and to be in this institution as students and as partners of this institution have a great responsibility, because with opportunity comes humility and responsibility. Today is a celebration of this ethos. I am about to give way to the real protagonists of the day, our speakers, our keynote speakers. In particular, I'm going to give way to Josep Borrell, the EU's top diplomat, a man that I am fortunate enough to be able to call my friend. He's been a good friend for quite some time. His life is one that has been dedicated to public service over the decades. He's here today with us. Tomorrow he'll be in the Balkans, the following day in the Sahel, maybe a few days later in Eastern Europe or in Ukraine, working to address collective challenges. This is what we are about in this school. After him, we have 4 wonderful speakers. In Jody, in Susana, Maria Fernanda, and Augusto, all of them have dedicated their lives in one way or another to the service of others. In government, through political activism, in the multilateral world, or in academia. People like them are also in our faculty, and they will guide you through your studies. They will show you and teach you that dedicating your life to solving common problems is possible and that you can do extraordinary things. Their own experience is living proof that this is possible. Now, I want to end by thanking all the people that have made this possible, that have made this event, but above all, that make this school and this academic project possible. There are just too many to cite. I can see their faces. They're distributed around the room, but they know who they are, and I say it from the bottom of my heart. With their work, they make the world just a little bit better. Indeed, with our work, all of us, we help change the people that change the world, and that they change it for the better. Now, I want to leave you with that message, with the power of academia to change the world, and with the many resources we have to address the challenges in the video that I've just cited. We are not helpless in the face of these challenges. We do not need to feel overwhelmed or unable to address this. We can train climate leaders or people that would gear our corporate sector in the right direction. We can fight for open and diverse societies. We are very much, my friends, in the resistance to a closed, authoritarian, and repressive world. We can govern technologies in a way that fosters democracy. We can do all of these things, and we can do more. And today is a celebration of those values and aspirations. So thank you, everybody, once again. Thank you for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful time.